Good Tiger fans, it's Mark Fitzpatrick with Tiger Club of Kansas City. It is Tuesday, October 15th. And one of our speakers today, one of our favorite guys from the Kansas City Star, Blair Kerkhoff, joined us with Sam McDowell. Unfortunately, Sam had to leave, but Blair, you're stuck with me for the interview. Great job as always. Mizzou Tigers took care of business at UMass, as we expected. Disappointing game against A&M. Where do you think they are at this point?
Well, they're still in the polls. They still have a good record. It's a shame that one outcome kind of taints the record a little bit. The 5-1, a lot of teams in the country would take that. There are only a few undefeated teams left, but that one was so disheartening. The lopsided loss at Texas A&M. It certainly changed perception of voters in the polls, dropping them from the top 10 into the 20s at the time. But again, there's opportunity ahead of Missouri on the schedule, I think, to make up ground and to get back onto on the right side of the bubble when it comes to the college football playoff.
What a time for Missouri fans. We're 5-1 and we're distressed about how we're playing. So we talked a lot today about college. You cover everything, but you do such a great job in the college sports. We don't always like what's going on off the field today with NIL and the transfer portal and all that, but the game on the field this year has been exceptional. You look at some of these games.
I think it's been on fire. I really do. Some of these games, listen, just Missouri Vanderbilt. I mean, I know Missouri fans were distressed over that outcome.
Looks pretty good.
Doesn't look bad now, does it? A week later, they go down and take care of Alabama, and then they beat Kentucky the following week. Vandy all of a sudden they're a factor in the SEC race. So, and just this past weekend, games like Oregon, Ohio State, and Kansas State, Colorado. It just seems like every week there's a few good games that just take your breath away. And part of it we got to chalk up to realignment. I mean, we wouldn't have had Ohio State, Oregon, or Kansas State, Colorado in previous years. We get them in one weekend in their conference games. So. I was not a big fan of realignment. I still think it doesn't make a lot of sense when it comes to non-revenue sports. But for football, it seems to have done its job.
Let's talk a little about the Royals. What a season they had, going from 56 wins to 86 and going to the second round of the playoffs. Look back in this season, it's pretty remarkable. But they need to make some improvements in next season, primarily on offense.
They do, right. I think the playoffs, even though they were 3-3, it's a good record, right, for a playoff team. But what got them beat was a lack of offense. Even Bobby Witt Jr., who had been fantastic, I think he's going to finish second in the MVP voting. He ran out of steam in the Yankee series. So I'd love to see them get find or develop a leadoff hitter, someone who can get on base, take walks, just get on base any way you can. And then bring up Bobby Witt with a runner on. And we can see those 109 RBIs maybe grow for him next year. They need a little more power, I think, in the lineup. Even though they had three guys tantalizingly close to 100 RBI seasons, Vinny Pasquantino would have gotten there if he hadn't been injured. But I still think they need a little more power in the lineup, and that's got to come from a corner outfielder. I wouldn't be surprised if they went out and tried to find a left fielder or a right fielder, someone who could get you 30 home runs and just a little more pop in the lineup, lengthen the lineup a little bit.
Finally, let's talk about the Chiefs, 5-0. And again, we're also like, well, they're just not playing that great. Times have changed around here.
How crazy is that, right? I mean, I was saying that if they were if they ranked football teams, I'm not sure the Chiefs would be the top ranked team. And here they are, undefeated, looking great, going to San Francisco this weekend in a Super Bowl rematch. People are so excited about the Chiefs and should be, but even they have room for improvement. Defense has been fantastic. Yes, Chris Jones is having a NFL Defensive Player of the Year type season. And here we are, Patrick Mahomes with 6 interceptions and 6 touchdown passes, not what we're used to seeing from him. I think the improvement can come on that side of the ball. And if it does, even with the injury issues they've had at wide receiver, this could be another Super Bowl champion team.
Last question, back to college football. Who would you pick for your national champion at this point?
Boy, it's changed from week to week. I was down on Oregon earlier this year, struggled to beat Boise State, and had some close calls. I kind of like the Ducks right now. Yep, I do. But I tell you what, it would be hard not to pick a team from the SEC, whether it's Georgia or Alabama or maybe an LSU coming off the pace, or Texas. Of course,
Yes.
Texas. It's funny. I'm still getting used to thinking of them in the SEC, but Texas looks solid right now.
They do. Blair, thanks. 35 years with Kansas City Star.
Thanks,
of course,
Mark.
you can listen to his podcast, KC Sports Beat. What are we going to talk about this week on the
Chiefs. More Chiefs. Yeah. Let's talk some Chiefs.
It's a great show. I recommend you tune in. Hey, folks, our speaker next week, great friend of the club, Stephen St. John from 810 Sports. Make sure you join us here at the flea market. For more information on events and membership, go to kctigerclub.com.